Even before the pandemic, asylum seekers struggled to find educational opportunities for their children during the months and years they would have to wait in Tijuana. Many of them had been sent back to Mexico earlier this year as part of the Remain in Mexico program. That situation became even more dire during the pandemic, as Mexico scaled back its outreach programs to asylum seekers and international education groups pulled out of the country. But one local nonprofit has stepped up to offer remote learning for these children, well before many schools in San Diego were able to make the switch.
But we saw an opportunity with our technology program.
Nicholas Sandoval is the founder and CEO of Create Purpose, which runs educational programs in orphanages in Tijuana.
Once we started offering these classes virtually, it was just a light bulb went off for the organization. We realized that we didn't lose any of the learning process. The children were probably more attentive.
But Sandoval's organization had previously only worked in orphanages. It took UCSD's Tom Wong to help get their infrastructure into the hands of asylum-seeking children.
And so I asked whether or not there would be any interest in expanding to include asylum-seeking children in migrant shelters in Tijuana.
Wong runs the university's U.S. Immigration Policy Center and has been researching asylum seekers at the border. While Wong had the resources to expand Create Purpose's programming and an interest in getting that programming to asylum seekers, they still needed a space. They found a willing partner in Asylum-Migrante, a binational organization that operates a shelter in Tijuana.
Asylum-Migrante is on the ground working with families, and especially against the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic, needed to find programming to keep families and especially kids not just busy, but as happy as one can imagine in the circumstances that they're in during the day.
So far, the students, who are all girls, are learning computer basics and coding in a room that Asylum-Migrante has converted to virtual learning.
We don't know if it's going to be months or years that these asylum-seeking families are going to be in Mexico. And so how could we, as a nonprofit on the US side, educational institution, and a migrant shelter in Tijuana, how could we get together to not just fill time, but to give these children hopefully some skills that are transferable when their situation does normalize?
Wong hopes to expand the program to other shelters in the coming months, as asylum-seeking families continue to wait in Tijuana for their day in court. Max Rivlin-Nadler, KPBS News.